Hello, I'm Narendra, and since we are approaching Vasant Panchami, and on Vasant Panchami we worship goddess Saraswati, today I'm going to speak on Saraswati. The word Saraswati, broken down, it basically consists of two words, Sara and Swa. Sara is essence, and Swa is self. So one who gives the essence of self, she is Saraswati. Sara is essence and Swa is self. So one who gives the essence of the self is Saraswati, which means basically she gives us self knowledge. And that is why we worship Saraswati as the goddess of knowledge. Now let's go into the personification of Saraswati. I mean, the idol that we worship. She has got four hands, and in one of the hands, you would find that she is holding a book. The book is basically supposed to be a Veda, which means the path of knowledge. We can acquire knowledge through the path of intellect, that is, knowledge, which is represented by the book she holds. So, that is the path of knowledge. Book being held by Goddess Saraswati. That is one hand. In another hand, you would find she's holding a rosary bead, what we call japa mala. She's holding a rosary bead. So the rosary bead is used basically as an aid to concentration. We count the beads and we concentrate on some theme. So rosary bead is concentration, meditation, contemplation. So basically it is the path of dhyana. So unless you, which also can be interpreted as a deep focus. You take the life of the scientists. Their research requires tremendous amount of focus and concentration. So you can say the rosary bead, it represents that path, the path of dhyana, contemplation, meditation. So that is represented by the rosary bead. And with two other hands, Saraswati is holding the Veena, the musical instrument, she's holding the Veena. Now, the Veena is basically, you can equate it with all the arts and aesthetics because Saraswati is also the goddess of arts and aesthetics. That is one way of looking at it. And the other way is the Veena also represents the path of devotion. Because you see, all our saints, many of our saints, when they sang their devotional songs, basically they were following the path of bhakti. So music for us, music, dances, all the classical arts that has been pursued in India for centuries. Music has been a method of sadhana to reach the divine. So basically the Veena represents the path of devotion, the path of art and aesthetics. So that is what the Veena represents. Now Saraswati's complexion, you would find her complexion is white. Now nobody has white complexion. Okay, we have fair complexion people, but white complexion is something strange. What does this mean? It means purity. White is the color of purity. And sattva guna is represented by the color white. So Saraswati's complexion as well as her sari, the sari that she wears, that is also colored white. So basically that means purity and immaculateness. So that is the significance of white. And you would find Saraswati sitting on a lotus. In my Ganesha video, I had told you the lotus represents the spiritual enlightenment, the highest perfection of wisdom. So Saraswati sitting on a lotus means Saraswati is established in enlightenment, the highest stage of wisdom and knowledge. So that is what sitting on a lotus signifies. And you would find the Vahana of Saraswati is a swan, Hamsa, what we call a Hamsa. The speciality of a swan can, when it takes any food, it can separate the impurities and can take only the pure food. That is the significance of a swan. That means discrimination, intellectual discrimination. When we pursue the path of knowledge, then we must have the ability to distinguish between the right and wrong. The power of discrimination should be with us, and Saraswati riding the swan means she has mastered the art of discrimination. Only when we have discrimination can we acquire real knowledge. So that is having the Hamsa as the Vahana. That is what it signifies. And finally, I would like to conclude it by saying that we know that Saraswati is married to Brahma. Brahma, as we know, that he is the god of creation. So to create anything, knowledge has to be there. Unless you have knowledge of what you are going to create and in what way that is going to be useful, unless you have that knowledge, you cannot create. So creation, knowledge always precedes creation, and knowledge is wedded to creation. So any creative activity requires knowledge. That is the significance of Saraswati being married to Brahma, the god of creation. So creation and knowledge, they are wedded together. That is what the symbolism of Saraswati means. And let us bow and pray to Mother Goddess Saraswati in this holy occasion of Vasanta Panchami. Thank you very much for viewing.